What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the top of the map in the red color, playing as Ra. His name is Mariano. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is Yoshii. The map is Midgard. This is a random Voobly ladder game for you guys. This is going to be a fun one. I really love this matchup. I really love this map. Odin versus Ra on Midgard. You get this really nice amount of fish, and it's super spread out, super difficult to defend. Lots of potential for raiding and a whole bunch of really fun stuff here. And we'll see how this game's going to go. Yoshi's been playing out of his mind recently. Definitely one of the best players currently playing right now. And definitely has one of the most interesting Odins that I've seen. Plays a lot of super aggressive walling early and really takes advantage of the fact that Norse can build all over the map. His opponent today, Mariano, if you guys don't remember him, he was actually playing in the Voobly Challengers League way back when, the very first season of it. And the Challengers, or the Champions League, I should say, was a tournament which we put on for essentially a league style thing where the top 16 players go into two separate groups, play each other, and then there's a playoffs at the end of it. But then you have another group stage for the lesser players. I mean, top 16 is still top 16, so even like a top 17 player going into challenges is still pretty high level, but it's kind of just those like A tier players instead of the S tier players. And he was the victor of the very first Challengers League, getting him into the Champions League for the next season. I think he did pretty well in season 2 as well. But he's back playing, showing everyone the business here. Now, Ra on Midgard, a lot of people really enjoy playing Ra. Ra's got a very simple game plan. And the game plan is get up 5-6 docks, get out 18 fishing ships, play defensively, and hit your timings on this map. However, as the meta has been evolving and developing over the recent years, Odin players have realized, you know what, we can kind of compete. We've got a really strong power spike in the heroic age in Njord, Skadi, Bragi, take your pick. They give you walking woods, they give you flaming weapons, they give you frost. All of these god powers are really strong. But more importantly, every single Norse civilization has access to Tyr, which gives you access to Fimbulwinter, which is going to slow your opponent's economy down by quite a bit, spawning some very strong wolves in your opponent's base. But more importantly, get access to the Jormungand Elva. So that effectively means that you can win the water and completely just demolish your opponent's food income at that stage of the game, and there's really not a lot they can do to stop it. The other option here is to go for a Ragnarok, a fairly early Ragnarok. Given you've got the water economy going, if you've held onto it with your navy, the Ragnarok can push in and get really good gold pressure, or even just allow you to set up and get town centers and sort of secure your foothold on the map. As we see Yoshii throwing up his house, he's got his 2 docks up already. This is pretty much the new meta build order for Odin.
Yeah.
Though we are seeing maybe not enough. Oh no, he's building dwarves. This is basically the meta build for Odin. Normally, you want to get out 2 Ulfsarks, especially on Anatolia, when you need to build on two separate parts of the lake. But it seems like Yoshii is neglecting one of those Ulfsarks in favor of maybe a faster advance time or a stronger advance time, something like that. So we'll see how it's going to go. Yoshii's temple will be up any minute here, it would seem. He'll be able to advance fairly soon. Now, Mariano here's only gone 3 villagers on gold, which is a little bit off meta. No, he's got a gold villager over here. I like that. I think that's really smart, putting this villager over here. Less walking time. He's going to be able to jump over here and build another dock as well. Getting his temple up. The temple is very late here. There are ways in which you can get 5-15 advances, 5-30 advances, 18 fishing ships. So we'll see if Mariano's later advance is going to serve him well. Now, advancing later doesn't necessarily mean bad. It just means you have to play more defensively. So you're going to throw up more docks, more stuff, I guess, and see exactly how you can manage to make it all work. Has more villagers popping out here. He's got the food now to advance, just needs to get that temple up and it should be all good. Let's see how Yoshi's advance is coming along. He's actually going for a delayed advance as well here, as he's getting that last second Ulfsark out, or that last Ulfsark out before he goes up to the next stage. And he does pick Freya. Freya, the god which gives you access to Forest Fire. Forest Fire being fairly underwhelming god power, but you do get access to the Valkyrie out of your temple. In Age of Titans, you get a free myth unit when you hit the next age, or whichever god you did choose to go. And that free Valkyrie can put on a lot of pressure onto your opponent's base and cause some issues. Now, Ra and Egyptian in general do have the priest and the pharaoh to start off. They're heroes. They do very well against myth units. So once the Valkyrie comes in, it's going to basically not be able to do all too much. Probably a forest fire gets thrown down and then he's going to have to retreat here. Now you can see Yoshii actually going up to 21 fishing ships here and building more after this as well. Throwing up another dock over here, getting onto all of these locations. So this delayed advance from Yoshii is actually really, really smart in a way. It means he's saying, well, I know I'm not going to put much pressure onto my opponent in the early game. I'm just going to take it a little bit slower, get up my extra docks, and then see what I can do in the mid game here. So there's the Freya coming through and Bast coming through for Mariano. I think Bast here is maybe a little bit too greedy in a way. Like Bast, you don't get access to Shifting Sands, you don't get access to Shadoof. Both of these things are really, really important for Ra in the points where you might get taken out. Look at all these fish. We've got 23 fishing ships out for Mariano as well. Both players with a gigantic economy at this stage of the game. More houses coming down, monument coming up. I'm sure we're going to be seeing some sort of armory get dropped down as well. Persine comes through. Do we have the shaft mine just yet? Not just yet. And how about Yoshii over here? Is he getting anything in terms of those upgrades? No, it's not. But he does have his Persine already, and he's probably going to be thinking about going to... Oh, he's getting a second town center here, and that gets spotted by Mariano. So this is a pretty interesting attempt here from Yoshii. The early second town center is something on water maps that I would suggest you don't do a lot of the time, because the timings will hit much, much harder than normal, the one town center timing. So being able to defend this is going to be really, really tough. But it is Ra, and Ra doesn't have a very strong heroic age god power. So we'll see how it's going to work. It'll be interesting. And now we've got the Valkyrie poking her head in, and armory getting dropped down. We do have double barracks getting thrown up by Mariano already, making some axemen. Axemen super strong against Norse. Norse need to make their infantry to make buildings, and if you build axemen, you're currently slowing down their buildings, as we're now starting to see some cabinets coming out for Mariano. Yoshii is just going to say, well, if cabinets come, I'm going to make longbows. No need to overreact. No need to start building cabinets until you see them. And here it seems like we don't have an armory just yet, but Yoshii will be able to advance to the next age as soon as this armory is up. And this could be, this effectively could be Yoshii's game plan here. The game plan being, get the second town center up as the villagers coming in, and they might actually deny this town center here as there's just not enough units to get this one up. We are seeing some axemen getting taken down, Eclipse getting cast here, so no attempt at using Forest Fire while Eclipse is on, but more importantly, the Sphinx is going to be very, very useful here. Armory is up now. Yoshii going to be able to click up to the next age, but it seems like the town center that Yoshii wanted to get up has been denied. And while I really actually, in hindsight, super loved this this build here from Yoshii, getting this town center nice and early, considering he went to the heroic age behind it, getting denied here is absolute nightmare situation for Yoshii. And now we're seeing the cabinets pushing in while this eclipse is going on. Yoshii not paying attention to this one, actually going to lose some very, very much needed fishing ships here, as he's got no real food at the moment, as he's spent it all on the second age. Now Longhouse is getting dropped down everywhere. But that being said, lots of resources here spent by Mariano. God power down, resources down, and Mariano going to be delayed to the heroic age. And we are seeing a second town center getting thrown up over here now for Yoshii. And Yoshii's basically saying, I think I'm going to stay in the heroic age, make a whole bunch of units in the heroic age, and see what I can do. So cabinets moving all around the map, attacking fishing ship left, right, and center. Yoshii not paying too much attention. I am sort of surprised we didn't see Njord here. That free Kraken could have been really, really useful, and the Walking Woods to push in and hit some sort of timing. But the Skadi is a little bit safer. We are seeing those fishing ships getting garrisoned, a couple of longboats getting built out here. He doesn't really need longboats at this point. Mostly just needs to be making those siege ships when he hits the next age. As one does get taken down. Nice play from Mariano. Good pressure. And we are seeing a town center now for Mariano as well, as he is going up through Hathor, getting himself Skin of the Rhino. Gold mine here with 300 gold left in it. There's a very, very big timing that is possible. However, Yoshii running his army and getting caught out as the Axemen are going to do so much damage to Yoshii's army. He needs to get out of here. He needs to sort something out in this game, as Mariano now actually in a very, very strong position. He can throw a marker down, go next age. He can throw Migdols down, do everything he wants to do. We do see the Axemen turning around, taking this fight just a little bit, but I'm just a bit surprised to see that's what's happening. Meanwhile, we have a random Ulsark raid over here taking down a villager. The cabinets attacking everywhere over here, as we are now seeing dragon troops popping out to defend that location. The Patsukos is now out. Hersur getting taken out as well by these Axemen, as the army of Yoshii is going to be retreating away here. We see the Valkyrie coming through to help bolster this army against that mass Axeman army. And Yoshii is now being forced into making raiding cavalry, which basically means that Mariano can now start comfortably making himself some camelry. He doesn't have the Migdol just yet to do so, and neither does Yoshii have a hill fort to really do anything with that, but we'll see how it's all going to go. Big Locust coming down onto this position. The villagers going to be moving away. A lot of dead villagers here, actually, as Mariano gets a pretty brutal Locust off there. Lots of low HP villagers remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 villager. 8 villager kills from that one raid. Absolutely brutal, as Yoshii trying to push in here. He's looking for a frost, I would say, to hit some villagers and hit this army, but he's not able to do it just yet. His army's not really strong enough to take the town center down either with those hack. Those throwing Axemen only dealing 4.5 hack damage here, as the Axemen trying to push in. We've got the Frost Giant coming back through. He's now got the Therm upgrade, Rhyme upgrade, making this this Frost Giant go up to 800 HP. Now, are we seeing a heroic age? Yes. Sorry, a mythic age, I should say. Yes, we are. Horus coming through for Mariano. A little bit risky, I would say, against the Odin. Horus is pretty risky just because you don't get access to the mummy and you don't get access to the Son of Osiris. The Frost Giants can be very difficult to deal with in the Mythic Age with Horus. So we'll see how that's going to go. The rock now flying over, going to be potentially sacrificing itself to move in and hit some sort of tornado on this one here, as Yoshii has got his market up now, starting his trade route. That indicates to me he does have ideas of Ragnarok in this game. Starting an early trade route for Norse normally does mean that. Otherwise, you kind of don't want to be spending those resources on the ox cart so early. As we are seeing a cheeky raid coming in here. There is a potential for a forest fire to open this location up as well. And I think Yoshii might have spotted this. He does spot that this forest is here. So a later forest fire here might be a good idea, as the raiding cavalry getting taken out. And Horus does hit the rock flying in here. Hits this town center. Is going to be taking this one out pretty brutally here, as Mariano trying to get this town center up. The 2 houses from Yoshii going to get taken down as well, as Yoshii is going to be looking for something to do here. He says, all right, you take my hometown center down. I'm going to put this town center back up instead. And one thing that Yoshii has to be super careful of now is the Avenger raids, as we see all the units retreating back home. And this is a big timing for Mariano. Where are his units? Here they are. He's got the Avenger, not sending that one in to hit any raids just yet, but he's going to be marching forward, trying to do something, potentially take down the hill fort, start putting pressure onto the gold mine, all of that good stuff. We do see Yoshii with a healthy amount of food in the bank. Definitely going to be thinking about going to the next age very, very shortly. We see the forest fire getting dropped there. Trying to buy some time effectively. You don't want to be standing too close to the forest fire. It does a lot of damage very, very quickly. The town center just about to be up. And there might have to be a frost getting cast here as the villagers getting pulled back. And it's probably fine to cast frost now, as we're seeing the Avenger wandering around Yoshii's base. We'll see if the Frost Giant can get onto it or not. The 5.5 speed there of the Avenger is too much for the Frost Giant. We'll be able to get away, but the town center manages to get up. The hill fort still alive. Watchtower's getting researched here, and Yoshii is completely fine here, it would seem. Mariano, on the other hand, throwing barracks down, realizing that there is a potential for Ragnarok to be coming through. He needs to make sure he gets out heavy axemen, champion axemen, all the resources, maybe even a trade route, villages all over the map, getting him as much gold as he possibly can to survive the power of said Ragnarok. And we do see the Avenger does get caught. This is what I was talking about with Horus being a little bit risky. The Frost Giant can completely nullify your Avengers if you don't micro them really, really well. Meanwhile, we're starting to see some Drakkar raids coming through for Yoshii. He's really, really persistent at this on the water maps, on Anatolia, on Midgard. He continues to get those raids going throughout the game, hurting your opponent's economy and giving him some advantages here as Yoshii somehow, some way manages to survive that pressure without too much of a scratch on him. Another Avenger is out, does spot this gold mine over here, and Yoshii is not close to that location with his Frost Giant, so he might be able to get some decent damage done. The Drakkar are still putting more pressure on here, going after more of these fishing ships. He just clicks onto the fishing location and just allows them to go to town. One click to do so much damage, so very, very useful for him. And Yoshii just about to click up to the next stage. I'm interested to see, will he actually go for the Rag, or will he be going for tier here? As the Rag might seem like a good idea, but Axeman already up. You might want to play it a little bit more slowly. Hit the economy and see what you can do. Still not clicking up. I think he's too focused on other things at this point. And he has chosen Balder, so he will be going for a Rag. He doesn't necessarily have to click Rag straight away. The Fire Giant is actually incredibly strong in this situation because your opponent, because the Ra player has gone Horus and so it's gone Horus, basically. Hathor as well, but gone Horus, meaning no mummy, no real good way to deal with those myth units. So he doesn't have to click Rag. He can just make Fire Giant, go straight in with Ballister, Fire Giant, throw more hill forts up and see what he can do here. As we are seeing some ramming galley raids coming through for Mariano as well, but a longboat already out here for Yoshii as the ramming galley is doing nicely over here. The army of Yoshii pushing back in. A priest over here as well, going to try and do a little bit of damage, but it does basically just scratch the Frost Giant in this location here. As Mariano doing his best. The priest popping out. We do see these catapult coming out nicely. Oh, the catapult rock raids. Every Norse player's nightmare coming through. This is going to be so difficult to deal with. No access to those extended edition Bogsviger. The only way to deal with this is to send your throwing axemen around, and we do not have the bonus damage against flying units just yet through for Yoshii. And or is he going to be able to deny the Ragnarok? I don't think he will, but it's going to be a little bit too late. We will be seeing the tower getting taken down. And the question is, how fast is Yoshii going to be able to react to this now? The house is getting taken down, still trying to push through here. That's a lot of population on that side of the map there, attacking buildings as the Drakkar up here trying to deal with these war barges. There's the Mythic Age for Yoshii. As houses coming up on the front, we see the Fire Giant coming back, rain getting thrown down here to block any sort of early Ragnarok from coming through, buying as much time as possible. Does Mariano even have farms? No, he does not. He's literally just blocking that. That Ragnarok, but the Fire Giant coming in, going to be able to deal some damage to said rock, but the rock just going to be retreating back. The villagers sitting underneath the rock, and now the rock flying over here. Is he going to be able to get out a longboat here? He's trying to train one. Definitely a smart idea to chase this one down as the Fire Giant going after this as best as he possibly can. Yoshii very much struggling for food in this stage of the game. He can't realistically make Huskarl throwing axemen because of those heavy axemen. He really wants to be making something else, more like making the, what do you call it, raiding cavalry and Jarl, which he is making, but he just doesn't have the food to really do that at this point. We've got a Frost Giant coming through here, and we're not seeing those Fire Giants coming through that I thought we would be seeing immediately just yet. As the Rock now flying his way over onto this location, but the Fire Giant in hot pursuit. One 5 population Fire Giant can definitely deal with this Rock, which is 3 population plus all the catapults in it. I think it's like something like 20 population inside of said Rock at this point. Now we see a stray longhouse coming down for Yoshii as well, as it seems like Mariano has managed to solidify his position fairly well. Now starting to throw up towers. If we check out his upgrades, he's got himself masons, he's got himself fortified town centers. No sun-dried mud brick just yet, as the catapult come in, start dropping around here. It is only 4.0 speed here, as the Fire Giant can't catch up at only 3.2 speed, but it does not do all too much damage if you do chase that with a Fire Giant at this point. Now we've got Champion Axeman in. Super big, super strong. Good choice there for Mariano to be getting in with that at this point, as Yoshii is trying to do his best. Now he can start making Ulsark onto this gold mine, hitting the gold economy of Mariano nicely. Always looking for attacking your opponent where they are weakest. It is the mantra of RTS. And the problem here for Yoshii is, like, really, well, where to now? He kind of has to click Rag. He's at full population. I don't know where it all is, but he's got a lot of population in the water. He's got some decent trades set up right now, so the Rag is not all in at all, but we are going to be starting to see some Ox Caravans getting taken out here. Portable Rams trying to get thrown down as the rock raids coming back in, the villagers coming over to shank down these rocks. Nice micro from Mariano to pick up the low HP or the attacked catapults, but he does pick up and he will be leaving this location. Does Yoshii have himself any more upgrades? No, he doesn't. He needs to think about getting masons to deal with this, but he hasn't managed to do that just yet. As Yoshii getting himself some armory upgrades, I would think, and still waiting, still holding on. I think he does have an opportunity here, though, for Rag, because the gold is exposed and there is no trade route set up for Mariano now. So he doesn't even need to really win with Ragnarok at this point. Though he should probably think about getting out a handful of Drakkar just to defend his home base, as the throwing axemen now going to be moving forward. The catapults have got siege engineers here now taking down the hill fort over here. The portable rams coming through, going to be trying to bash down these axemen as best as they possibly can. We've got the Fire Giant coming through here to deal with these champion chariots as well. As the axemen retreating back, the catapult's able to take down a longhouse over here as well. But there's so much pressure mounting, as Yoshii's now also going to be losing houses as well. He needs to be rebuilding those as best as he can. And I think Yoshii is literally just putting all of his eggs into the basket of Ragnarok. He's not really playing the map very well anymore. He's managed to push off this gold mine. Does he know about this gold mine here? Yes, he does. He still has frost, so he can frost the opposing army, but there is obviously, or maybe not obviously, but there is definitely a problem that Yoshii's going to have to overcome some way, somehow, as the Ragnarok does drop down, and that's going to be rock raids here, as we do see the frost getting dropped onto this location, hitting all of those units. I don't like that frost at all, as the town center gets saved here. He doesn't really need the town center at this point. He can rebuild it with his Rag heroes, but he manages to keep it alive. We've got some units moving onto this location over here, as we are seeing Mariano dropping the walls down on that position there to try and hold it. He doesn't have any real upgrades over there. The axemen retreating back to try and hold this one now, as more units moving forward. If we take a look at Yoshii's economy, he does have 15 fishing ships, and he does have a handful of trade, with a good market getting chucked up on that position over here. The Rag hero is moving in onto the main base of Mariano, trying to deal with this, but there's too many defensive buildings here as more units flooding in. The Rock coming over here. Do the axemen have the upgrade? No, they don't. The Rock's going to float in here and start dealing with this town center. We do have a handful of throwing axemen over here. Is he researching it? I don't see him getting it anywhere just yet, as the Rag heroes are going to move through and take down this town center. Very smart to hit this back town center. It is not defended at all, so Yoshii's going to easily clean that one up. Does he have full iron? No, he doesn't, but he does have iron shields. Really, really big upgrade here, and lots of resources in the bank to repopulate. More Herzer coming through. We do see the Rock coming over onto this position, still sitting on the water here, as the Rag hero is getting dealt with by these champion axemen. They're not paying attention too well to those axemen. And I would love to see some Fire Giant or something coming in onto this position, as the Rag is seemingly getting dealt with here, but the town center will be getting taken out. The Axeman on this position dealing with mostly all of these heroes of Ragnarok, as Yoshii hasn't even managed to really set up shop anywhere. Normally with these delayed Ragnaroks, you want to spam buildings out all over the map and take some position, as the Rock still pushing around. Do we have that upgrade just yet? Still not having, what's it called? It's Axe of Muskbelly. Definitely needs that one there. And a couple of idle military units here, guys, with Fire Giants coming out for that Fire Giant follow-up. The villagers trying to get the town center back up over here, as Yoshii's Ragnarok is dissipating. Villagers are going to start coming back out really, really fast. We've got villagers trying to grab this gold mine over here, trying to grab this gold mine over here. These villagers are mostly going to be getting taken out as well. We've got the Skin of the Rhino upgrade through, so it does take a little bit longer, but the town center is getting spammed up so very, very fast here, ladies and gentlemen. But most of those villagers do get taken out, and now the buildings getting dropped on this position. Love that, as some portable rams coming in on the front. More hill forts getting dropped down here. Where's the Rock? The Rock over here getting dropped to try and take down the market, but there is another market. Oh, there was another market. There's no longer another market here, as the Rock does manage to get out of here. The Axeman getting taken down. Will this hill fort get up in time is the big question. Can Yoshii get his economy started? Now he definitely needs to throw a market back down, and he's going to do that immediately. Some of those, has the Rock been taken out? I think it might. No, it's still hanging out over here, but all of those catapults seemingly have been dealt with. And now Mariano, 140 of 140 population, trying to get his town center back. The hill fort over here does manage to get up, but the Axemen have probably got themselves Axe of Vengeance. Yes, they do. Bonus damage against buildings, meaning that not 7 damage, but 14 damage per second onto these hill forts. Going to be doing a ton of damage here and completely tear through all the buildings of Norse. Very, very tough now, as we see the Fire Giants coming in here, going to be throwing a special ability onto these villagers, doing a ton of damage onto this gold mine. Mariano still hasn't set up a trade route just yet, so there is a big problem for gold for him if Yoshii can continue in this game nicely, but he doesn't have the economy started just yet. He needs that trade route getting back over here. He needs that Fire Giant follow-up. That snipe onto the market was a really big deal by Mariano, and now we've got war barges coming through, taking out these docks, as Yoshii needs to get his docks back up to continue his food economy, so he can really build those units nicely. As what's the Rock doing? Nothing just yet. The Fire Giant's getting dealt with here by the Pharaoh as well, as the trade route has started as well, and the Axemen pushing through. And I'm not sure what Yoshii can do now. His side build, a little bit of a failure. The town center coming back up. Mariano's economy decent, but I'm still saying that there's a potential here for serious raids to come through. I would have liked to have seen like a tower or something get dropped over here while the Ragnarok was on. That would have been really smart. But he didn't do that. We're going to see a dock get taken down. Not taking this gold mine was a big mistake from Yoshii as well. As the Jarl coming back in, and Mariano now able to start taking down this already wounded town center that does not have masons in just yet. We do see the Axeman coming through. The Fire Giant is here though, so we've seen Fire Giants killing off a lot of Axemen time and time again, but the Pharaoh is in here. He's going to be able to deal with this very fast. The special ability of the Fire Giant going to come in and deal tons of damage to these Axemen, but only one is not enough to quite kill off all the Axemen, as the Axemen can now start moving in, taking down this town center over here as well. We see the chariot raids coming in to try and take down the ox caravan, the trade route of Yoshii, but Fire Giant is already in here, as Yoshii does decide in that moment to tap out. Mariano takes it. GG. Well played by Mariano. Well played by Yoshii as well. He almost managed to crack the Ra with the Ragnarok, but all the pressure that Mariano managed to put on was huge. The early locust to slow Yoshii down, denying the second town center. Everything here Mariano did with the clutchest of clutch moves, managing to take so much pressure and deal with it. Yoshii almost managed to come back. He wasn't really out of the game, but he definitely wasn't at that peak efficiency that he would have liked to have been. But he almost managed to take this win, even though all of that was the case. Thanks so much for the 300 bits, Cuddy Danks. The thing that I love the most in this game is just the constant raids on the water from both players dealing with the fishing economy, which you might think is safe because you can just garrison, but every time you send a unit in to raid, it's clicks that your opponent has to do and occupying their attention. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.